Hey guys, this is Truman from 4runner Lifestyle. Today we're going to be installing the new 4runner Lifestyle carbon fiber steering wheel. If you want one, just check out the link in the description below to our website. Let's get going. Okay guys, so these are the tools that we're going to be using for the install today. We're going to need a pry tool, a 3/4 socket, a 10mm socket, and then we're going to need a Phillips head, Torx 30, and a flat head driver, and then just a bit driver right here, and then 2 wrenches for the sockets. Okay, first step of the install is going to be removing the negative terminal of the battery. We're going to be working with an airbag, and so we definitely want the battery to be disconnected for safety reasons, and then just toss a rag around it so it doesn't ground on anything. Okay, so just be safe, we're also going to pull off the positive terminal of the battery. Just be safe, we're working with the airbag here, so we definitely want to be more precautious than usual. So we're just going to pull that off and also throw a rag around it, just to be safe. Okay, next, to gain access to the bolts that hold on the airbag, we're just going to need to remove this cover right here, as well as the cover on the other side behind the steering wheel, to expose the Torx 30 bits, and then we can remove the airbag. Okay, now once those covers are off, then you can see up inside and see that Torx 30 bit. You're just going to want to loosen them. You do not need to pull them out. Just loosen enough on both sides and the airbag will come off. Okay, so on some 4runners, there will be a plastic clip, so if you unscrew that Torx 30 bit all the way, it'll catch it from falling out, so you don't have to worry about losing it. So you're just gonna unscrew it all the way and it'll catch it. Okay, so once you have that T30 bolts loosened, all you're gonna do is just pull the airbag towards you and tilt it up. You don't wanna pull it away quickly, you're gonna damage some of those cords in there. And so slowly pull it away and just lay it flat like this, and it'll access to the harnesses that we just need to remove. Okay, so once you expose the harnesses behind the airbags, there's going to be 5 things that you need to remove. There's going to be 2 white harnesses back here. There's going to be these 2 up here connected to the airbag, and then just the negative terminal just behind it. So the way you're going to want to do that is, first, you're going to stick your screwdriver under these plastic yellow tabs and lift them up to release them. There's that right there. Okay, and then I'll do the other one too. And so you're just going to want to stick your screwdriver behind here and give it a twist. That yellow tab is going to pop up, meaning it's released, and you're just going to slowly pull up this plug, like so. Okay, next are these 2 white tabs right here. You're going to want to be careful, but you're just going to stick your screwdriver back here, press the tab down, and pull them out like that. Okay, lastly, this is negative terminal right here. There is going to be a small metal tab that's going to keep this on. You're just going to want to stick your screwdriver in there, lift up the tab, and the negative terminal will just come right off. And then your airbag is released. Okay, once you have the airbag removed, it's time to remove the steering wheel. First things first, you want to make sure it's very straight up and down, and so when you put the new one back on, your alignment's going to be good. And so make sure it's straight, give it a wiggle, and then pull out your 3/4 socket and stick it on the center bolt that's holding the steering wheel in, and then crack it loose. It's going to be a tough one, but that's how we're going to take the steering wheel off. Okay, once we got that center bolt off, it's still going to be snug on the column, and so we're just going to give it a couple bumps in the back to loosen it, making sure not to pull it off the way so we can remove the wires safely. Okay, so once we have the steering wheel loose, we're just going to want to pull these into the middle because they go through the steering wheel column. And so we're going to want to carefully remove these wires, making sure not to damage them. And now your steering wheel is free. Okay, so our steering wheel is off. Now we just need to remove this back plastic piece and we're going to transfer it to the new steering wheel. Okay, so once you remove this back plastic piece, these T30 bits are going to fall out, so just make sure you don't lose them and we'll put them back when we reassemble the steering wheel. Okay, so the next step is going to be removing the buttons off of your steering wheel and transferring them over to the new carbon fiber steering wheel. And so we're just going to head back to our table and undo all these bolts and transfer them to the new one. Okay, so now we're back at our table, ready to transfer over the electronics to the new carbon fiber steering wheel. We're going to start with this top metal bracket. It's got 2 Phillips head bolts on the top middle, and we're just going to transfer that to the new one. Okay, next is just the cruise control column. It's just 2 Phillips head screwdrivers, and we're just going to remove those and transfer to the new steering wheel as well. Okay, we just got the cruise control column off. We're going to slip it through this hole right here, line up the screw holes, and throw the Phillips head screws back in. Okay, last thing to transfer over onto the new steering wheel is both sides of the steering wheel buttons. And so there's 4 Phillips head bolts to remove, and we're just going to transfer those to the new ones. Okay, once you have those 4 Phillips head screws removed, you're just going to want to flip it over and look at these tabs right here. This is the last thing holding in each column on each side of the steering wheel. You're just going to want to pull that tab down and it'll pop off. Okay, we got the columns off of the old steering wheel, time to put them on the new one. So you're just going to line them up, make sure the screw holes line up, and throw in those 4 Phillips head screws in. Okay, all the electronics are transferred over to the new steering wheel, so we're ready to go back to the car. Make sure you bring the back piece and reassemble the steering wheel. Okay, we're back in the car. We got the back cover of the steering wheel. We're just going to reinsert the T30 bits just like that. And then it's ready to go back on the steering wheel. Just want to make sure those don't slide out. Make sure you loop it over the cruise control. Line everything up. It should just snap back on. Okay, the steering wheel is ready to go back on. What you're going to want to do is grab these 2 wiring harnesses and slip them back through the steering wheel. Make sure the clock spring is aligned with it at the top. And seat the steering wheel back on. Okay, once you have the steering wheel on and lined up, it's ready to put on this locking nut right in the center of the steering wheel. You're just going to want to slip it on, hand tight, and then lock it down really good. Okay, we brought the airbag back. It's ready to reassemble. So we're going to pull these 2 wiring harnesses with the yellow tabs on them Just gonna wanna put the black one into the black harness. Okay, 3 more connections for the airbag. We're gonna have 2 up top, they're the white clips. Those are different sizes, so you can't mix them up. Just make sure to put them back in where you pulled them out. Make sure they snap in. Okay, last but not least, the negative terminal. It's gonna be this thin black one. You wanna make sure you snap it back onto the metal prong. Make sure that snaps on as well. Make sure that's locked in. Okay, airbag's ready to go back on. You're just gonna slip it back into place. It should seat nicely. And then we're gonna get the T30 bit and screw those back up. Okay, we're gonna go back around the steering wheel and tighten up those T30 bits. They're already in place, just make sure they're really snug. Okay, everything is bolted back on. Make sure all the buttons are working nicely. They should be able to click just as before, the steering wheel column and everything. And then lastly, we just gotta put these back on and then give it a test. Okay, and now the other side. Okay, now everything is back together. It's all installed. We're just gonna go ahead and plug the terminals back on and then give her a test. All right, first the positive. Unwrap it. Carefully slip it back on the terminal and bolt it back up. All right, next the negative terminal. All right, the install's all done. We're just gonna go hop back in the car, start it up, make sure everything feels good. And that's the install. All right, it feels great. All the buttons work, the horn works well. If you want one of these carbon fiber steering wheels, they're on the site live right now. Just go click the link in the description, go buy yourself one.